Hey, Plant Pals by the Kid Gardener, and today's video is me showing you how to make a hydroponic system from scratch. You don't have to buy one, you can make one, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. And you can customize it and make it your own, so that's the cool part about it. So, I've got a storage tote here, and this is in I have this really tall rack. I'm going to lower the light down once I get everything put together, but this is just a 7.8 gallon 20 liter tote. So it's the 30 quart, 28 liter, 7.5 gallon tote. And what I look for on the bottom is you have the food codes, well, not the food codes, but the plastic codes. And if it's a 5, look at my whole cheat sheet here, 2, 4, and 5. So if it's a 2, 4, or 5, it's food grade safe. So if you're looking to grow like outside in a bucket, like you get from the big box store, just make sure it has a 2, a 4, or a 5 on the coat. So this is the bottom part. I'll be filling this up with the hydroponic solution. And what makes the system work is simply the lid. And so I've already pre-marked the holes I'm going to drill. So this one would be for the air. And so what I'm going to talk about is the difference between a cracky style tote, system is one that doesn't use moving water. It's just still water, which is I've done plenty of times. But this is going to be an aerated unit, and there are benefits to doing it different ways. The cracky one is kind of like you just set it in here and you walk away, and once the fluid is down, you can pretty much, that's the end of the life of the plant. Or you can keep filling it up some, but that's a different video. So so I'm customizing this tote to be for me. So I'm gonna have an air stone hole there, air stone hole there. I'll show that in a minute. And these are marked out for the Aero Garden size baskets. And the nice thing about that is there's covers that will fit right in there, and then I can keep one. Even if I'm not using them for that, I can put covers over them, and I can use one for take the cover off and when I'm refilling, so I don't have to lift the whole thing up. I can just refill the water, the fluid, through there. Now there are ways of putting plastic gauges on the side so you can see the water level and all that. I don't need to do that. I pretty much check my plants daily, so I can use a flashlight, look down there and see. This is where my 3-inch net cup is going to go, and I'll show all that. But yeah, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to get a hole saw and a drill. And I bought a hole saw kit for like 17 bucks off of Amazon. That's really nice. It's the 3-inch net cup size holes, but also bought a spare one, and this was during a Black Friday sale at one of my local box stores, and this was $1. So you can find them probably at dollar stores too. So keep an eye out. So it's not very expensive at all. And that's kind of the whole cool part about this tote is I paid. I got this tote was on sale for like 4 something, and this was $1. I got a fish tank. Again, you don't need a bubbler if you're doing cracky style, but I got this fish tank bubbler off of Amazon for like 15 bucks. You can get them from any pet store, yeah. So, and then the baskets are cheap. We get like 50 of them for 10 bucks. I got clay pebbles, which are cheap, 10-pound bag for like 4 bucks. So yeah, nothing here is expensive, and that's kind of like the cool part about it. I think this total bill would be 5, 6, 21, probably 20, under 25 bucks. You can create a working hydroponic system. So anyway, I'm going to get the hole saw set up and show you that, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'll try to do this one-handed as I film. So the nice thing is there's already kind of a center hole right there. So I'm just going to start slow. Then and what I like to do is once it starts biting in, I reverse it so it makes a clean cut. Oops, I didn't tighten this thing down enough. Alright. This will be good enough. Oops. Alright. I'm going to pause for a second. Be right back. Alright, so as you can see, we got the air stone holes drilled. Got the small cups drilled. And this is the cup that will hold for that. Be right back. You can see this is your standard AeroGarden size cup. It's like that. And so I could take an X-Acto blade, I can clean these up a little bit more, but it's fine for now. But yeah, so I can have the option of growing. So if I start something in here that's small, while it's starting, I can grow some smaller things until it gets big. Like I have a squash that I'm growing now that would cover everything, and so you wouldn't have very long to, but you could grow something, a short-term something in here, like an herb, or get something started, would be fine. So, I was going to show here, oh yes. So, while I'm not using the holes, I can use these covers that you get, and they're pretty much included in every kit now, which is great, because it blocks the light, and, you can get these off of Amazon as well, like a 50 pack for like 10 bucks or whatever, and just goes like that. So look how nice and neat that looks. So when I'm not using these holes, I can fill them up, and like I said, I can keep, say, this one here always free, and so when I go to add water, I've got an easy pour spout, so I don't have to lift the lid, unlatch the lids, or I don't have to pull the plant up. And you can also do things like you can drill holes in here to like put stakes in, like bamboo skewers, the really tall ones you get for from the dollar store. I'll be right back. I'll show it. This has actually been cut down, but these are like 3 feet long, and I just got them from the dollar and a quarter store. And you can drill a kind of a smaller hole, because like, see, this hole would be too big, it would just kind of fall through. But if you had a really tall one, it could just rest on the bottom and then stick up the top, so it'd be stable. But you can also just drill a smaller hole and just kind of push it in, force it in there, and it'll stay upright, and you can use that for trellising. So yeah, you have lots of options, which is really cool. So I'm going to now, well, I'll get the pump set up, and I'll show that, and then add the fluid to it, and then we'll add the plant. Be right back. So, the thing I like about this unit is it's very quiet, and it's got 2 ports, so, and it's pretty powerful. So you can, if you have 4, you can easily split this into 4 units. It'll blow bubbles to all 4 units pretty strongly, or 2 super strongly, which is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna have heavily bubbling action in this one, and then it comes with 2 stones, which I like these stones, and it also has a T for splitting it. So like I said, you could branch it off and split it into 2 separate units each. And this is the backflow water preventer, so that the water, if you ever see someone siphon gas out of a tank, it's kind of the principle where they get the water flowing downhill. And to prevent that, you've got these little backflow things that close. They only allow air or water to go one way. And I got scissors, and it came with a decent length of tubing, but I bought my own tubing, again, really cheap, off Amazon, so I can make it to the size I want. So, yeah. So, and then what I do is, even though this is a quiet unit, it's still, it's got a motor, it vibrates, and this one is on right now. You can't even hear it. So this one unit is powering these two totes down here, and you can't even hear it. But if I had set it on something solid, you'd hear it. It'd be like, rrr. So what I do is I tie string to this railing here and then suspend it, hang it, so it's hanging in the air, has nothing to vibrate against, and it has zero sound. And then there's a little loop thing there that's where I hang it from. And it works really well. So, like, as you can see, just to prove that this is running, you can see the bubbling action in there. See the bubbles? So this unit is on and powering these two things, and I don't even have it turned up all the way. So the theory of why this is a good thing to do, not only it keeps water oxygenated, which makes the plant happy, the roots, but with this kind of stuff, you can do it a couple ways. One is where the roots are completely submerged in the water with a little airspace, so the plant can exchange the gases. Otherwise, it'll drown. Just like you, it needs to breathe in and out. And so you can suspend the plant where the roots are just in the air. And what happens is when you have a bubbler, the water bubbles go to the surface and they pop, and it kind of splashes the nutrients and the water on the roots. Or what I like to do is I just simply suspend the basket deep enough into the fluid to where the roots just hang down and have a good old time in the solution that's being agitated and bubbled. Both are perfectly valid methods. So yeah, it's really cool. All right, I will be back. All right, so I got it suspended, got the tubes running to it, and you can see I've got lots of bubbling action. And you see how the what I was talking about, how the bubbles pop on the surface and they kind of splash up. That's what happens to the bottom of the roots if you're doing it in that style system. It just splashes up on the roots, as opposed to so it's kind of like an aeroponics, where it's the roots are spinning in the air and getting moistened in the air. Where the system I'm going to do is I'm going to do suspended in the hydroponic solution. And so I've got like a quarter of the way of this thing full, and I've got like 4 more gallon jugs of my solution to put in there. Be right back. So this is kind of my working station right now. You can see I got the tubing, I got the food, and somewhere in here I got a syringe. And what I like to do is I put 5 milliliters per gallon of food, and I've got these jugs ready to go. And so what I'll do is I'll fill them up and load them into the system. So it's very simple. So I just, like I said, here's my syringe. So I take 5 milliliters of the plant food solution per gallon and goes into the system here. All right, so I transferred my Georgia candy roaster squash over to this unit, and hopefully it won't go through too much shock being transplanted. I kind of let it, normally I would just start it in this system and let it grow up and strong, but I was in the middle of doing a bunch of other things, so I didn't have room, as I was redoing my entire man cave here, so I'm kind of behind. But yeah, so anyway, I'm good to go. So all I have to do now is just either lower this light, which worked great for my squash last time. I do have a more powerful light I might install. I haven't decided yet. Probably just start off with this one because it worked so well last winter to grow the squash. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So it's very simple. If I wasn't trying to record this, of course, it would have been done much faster. But it was very simple, very easy. You can do it with just stuff you get from the hardware store. and it'll work great. So, all right, any comments, questions, leave in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Have an awesome day. Georgia Candy Roaster Squash.